What is good, everybody? It is your boy Cab back with another video for you guys. Hey, we're here to go over and discuss some potential new CAC races for Xenoverse 3 if and when Xenoverse 3 does happen. Now, for those who may be in the comments with a negative nonsense saying Xenoverse 3 has no chance, really not trying to hear it, just to be honest, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, because the game does have a chance without doubt. And if you still think that it doesn't, then I don't know, you living in a rock, you living in a cave. It really just doesn't make sense to me, because you have a game here that has sold over 7 million copies, probably very close to 8 million at this point in time. And then also the simple fact that there is a domain website for Xenoverse 3 that does seem to have consistent changes and things being worked on with it. That is another thing that, again, if you don't think this game has a chance based off of those things, you're just living under a rock and you're purely stupid, just saying. Now, getting into this right here, guys, talking about the potential new CAC races for a Xenoverse 3, because that's something that we really didn't get in Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 2, the only thing that they added in terms of like a new CAC race, I guess you could say, would be the female Majin. Because in Xenoverse 1, you just had one option. It was just the male Majin, and that was it. You didn't have the option for the females. That was something that was added in Xenoverse 2. But in Xenoverse 3, man, since this game has taken so long to come out, I have high hopes for it, and the hopes for some new CAC races at this point in time where Dragon Ball is today. So right now, guys, we have the male Saiyan, well, not even the male Saiyan. We just have the Saiyans, we have the Earthlings, we have the Frieza race, Namekian, and Majin. There are 4 other races that I think they could potentially add to these. Now, am I saying they're going to add in all of these? No, of course not. I'm just saying that these are races that would make sense to actually be put into the game. The first 2 kind of correlate with each other, I guess you could say, and that would be an angel and demon race. Now, I know the first thing people are going to be like is, Cab, angels are dummy OP. How could they work? Well, if you think about it, how the hell do Earthlings work with all the other races? Like, Earthlings are literally the ones that do not fit the most with all the races that are in the game right now, if you talk about an actual power level. And then really, even the Namekians, unless they all gang up into one body, they really can't compete with the other 3 races as well. So in terms of like that power balance type of thing, really does not matter when it comes to CACs, clearly, since we have Earthlings competing with all these other races that are in the game right now. So again, angels would be a very dope race to add in. Demons would be a very dope race to add in, especially since the main villains in the Xenoverse world are demons. Like that is what Demigra, Mira, Toa, they are demons from the demon realm. Even Fu, if Fu is the main storyline of Xenoverse 3, like I think there is potential to be for him, he is a demon. So that race in particularly makes the most sense, in my opinion, to be added in to the future Xenoverse 3 game if and when, like I said earlier, it does actually happen. So those are definitely the first 2 races without doubt that immediately come to my mind. Now the second, or not even the second one, the third one that I have on this list, we actually do have some examples of, and that is a bio android, guys. Now at first you may be like, what the hell is a bio android? What are you talking about? Well, basically a bio android is what Cell is. That Cell is essentially a bio android. Like, he's a real fleshy thing, but at the same time he's an android. That's what a bio android is. Like, obviously 18, 17, if you were to take off one of their limbs, you would have seen the mechanics and whatnot under it while they were still androids. That is not the case for Cell. The man's has like literal flesh, blood cells, and all this other stuff. So that is what a bio android is, and that is something that I believe would make a pretty dope CAC race if you think about it. And then also, it's the only main DBZ villain race slash storyline, I guess you could say, that isn't a CAC. Because think back, the very first saga and arcs of Xenoverse, I mean not of Xenoverse, of Dragon Ball, were Saiyan related. Of course we have Saiyans in the damn thing, like that's just a given for CACs. But then next up, you had the Frieza saga. We have Frieza CAC options. Next up, you have Cell. There's nothing representative from the Cell saga at all. Not even regular androids are in the game as CACs. So literally nothing from the android slash Cell saga is represented as a CAC. But then you move on to the Majin saga. Of course, we have Majin CACs. So again, the Cell slash android saga is the only one in all of Dragon Ball Z that has 0 representation from the villain side. So that would be very cool to finally see in the Xenoverse 3. in my opinion, at the very least, a bio android, and a bio android done properly, because I really don't think that they did the Frieza race properly. In my opinion, at the very least, they could have made it to where you could have gone into those second, third, and maybe even potential final forms, just all giving different kinds of boost to your actual CACs, similar to what Saiyans have going on in a sense. Well, I guess the one that goes from form 1 to 4 would be similar to like Super Saiyan 1 to 3, but then Saiyans have other awoken skills like Super Vegeta 2. Then we also, of course, got Super Saiyan Blue and Super Saiyan Blue Evolution. All of these have different stat effects. Same thing could have been done for the Frieza race, and could have also been done, or could be done, for a bio android race, because Cell is someone who had a second and third form, and in a sense, I guess you could say the full power form, but I don't think that would necessarily work, because you literally need to blow the bastard up for him to be brought back with that stronger version of himself. So again, I don't think that's anything that could really be added in the game, but definitely could add in a bio android race with a couple of awoken skills if done properly. So that's definitely a CAC race that I would like to see added into Xenoverse 3, again, if and when it does happen. Now, the final one that I have on this list, guys, is one that, I mean, I guess it's kind of similar to the Angels, but different at the same time. And that is a Kaio-shin race. Kaio-shins aren't really angels, but they are on that god status. But that would also be another type of race that I think would be really, really cool to see and just add in, and would just add so much variety to the game. Like, imagine, guys, imagine if we had 9 different CAC races. That would be absolutely insane. It's almost double what we have at this point in time in Xenoverse 2, because we only do have 5. So imagine, again, 9 full-on CAC races, guys. And something else that is also possible that we might see is like some female Namekians and female Frieza races. Because you gotta think, Xenoverse 1 didn't have a female Majin, and you wouldn't have thought that they would have added a female Majin in Xenoverse 2, because where the hell do you ever see a female Majin in the actual show? You don't. So again, it is something that they possibly could do for the Namekian and for the Frieza race, is finally give them that female representation, because they are the only 2 races left in the game that do not have that. And like I said, again, since they did it in Xenoverse 2 with the Majin race, it is not like 100% unlikely or 100% out of chance for them to make it a thing for Xenoverse 3 as well. But overall, guys, these are the new races that I personally would like to see. Now, some people may be saying races like God of Destruction in the comments and things like that. Let me just put this out there right now. Why God of Destruction race? I don't see it being a thing. I don't necessarily see it working. And that's just because it's not really a race. It's a title. The God of Destruction is a title. It's not necessarily a race that we know of that is a specific, like, every single God of Destruction falls under this clan or under this race right here. No, that is not the case. They're all literally different things, as we saw in the Tournament of Power. I mean, we got a fox, we got a cat, we got a rabbit, we got a fish. Like, there's just a bunch of different animals. We even got a mouse up in there as a God of Destruction. So again, clearly the God of Destruction is not something that is a specific race, and it is just a title that is earned by reaching a certain level of strength within your universe, I'm assuming. Something along those lines. Like, that's got to be how they're found, I'm assuming. They just hear about this insanely strong fighter or something like that, and they go to check him out, and eventually he becomes a God of Destruction. Like, I'm assuming it goes somewhat along those lines. Like, obviously Toppo was training with the dude Belmod and things like that, so I'm assuming Belmod went and found Toppo and basically started to train him for the future God of Destruction position. So again, man, I don't think that could be a race for anybody who would be saying that down below. But overall, man, 4 new CAC races would be very, very dope to see. Now, am I saying we're going to get all these? Absolutely not. But these are the 4 that I would like to see. And if they choose any kind of races, I hope it is from these 4 that I mentioned in this video right here. But as always, man, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on all the CAC races I mentioned and which other ones you would potentially like to see down below in the comments. Until next time, man, as always, hope you have a good day. Peace, y'all.